Hey y'all, hey, it's another episode of Bonafide Her Podcast featuring the one and only Miss Macey Bader.
Hey y'all.
How you doing, girl?
I'm doing good, girl. I'm there.
We here. We
You
lit.
know what? We getting it done. We getting it done.
Hey, girl, I remember you are the queen of the nails, so you gotta do the nail cam for the folks over here.
Nail
Yes.
check. Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Nail check.
Period.
Toes
Let them
too,
know.
but I don't show those for free. So toes too.
It's like you gotta.
Just kidding.
It's like you gotta. It's like the nails is, cause girl, them nails is.
Mm-hmm.
You don't play about your nails, period.
No, I do not.
But let's get it started. So, Miss Macey, can you tell us how you got to where you are in your sports journey?
Yeah. So my dad played professional soccer, and my brother and sister and I all signed up as a kid, and it was never forced. But it was the one thing that I actually stuck with. I never really played any other sports growing up, and it was always just like soccer, and I loved it. And it's been that way my whole life. I grew up in Apex, North Carolina, so played for Triangle Football Club and then NC Courage Academy, and then played at UNC Charlotte for 4 years. And now I'm here with the Carolina Ascent, still in Charlotte, which has been really awesome.
Woo-woo! Girl, y'all, so it's like a soccer royalty for y'all then.
And I was at UNC Charlotte. My sister's at Queens of Charlotte, which is 15 minutes down the road for me. My brother was at UNCG and just transferred to South Carolina, and my dad played at NC State. So big soccer family. Yeah, there was no like trying to be the best athlete in the family because everybody's goated.
Man, because when was that moment that you knew like you really fell in love with the sport?
I'd say I always really loved it like growing up. But a lot of people don't know is like my freshman year of high school, I almost quit because I wasn't playing, and it was kind of my first, that's when it really starts to become competitive. You're emailing colleges, and at that point in time, now they've changed it so you can't start communicating with college coaches until like June 1st of your junior year. But before then, it was you could email them whenever. So freshman year, I'm spending class time like emailing college coaches, telling them I have events coming up, telling them I have tournaments coming up, showcases. And I wasn't really playing that much, and I wasn't really playing well, and it just like wasn't a good fit. And I have horses back home that I also compete, and I was talking to a sports psychologist, and I was considering just quitting soccer and going horses full time because I was like, I'm not happy, I'm not enjoying it, and I just kind of stuck it out. Sophomore year, I got dropped to the second team, but it meant that I could play high school soccer. And just, I think being on that second team, some of the pressure was off. And I'm someone who I put a lot of pressure on myself. And then you add the pressure from, coaches, teammates, outside, whatever. And also you're growing up and maturing. It's like, it's a lot to handle all at once. So I think some of that pressure was taken off. And I balled out my sophomore year for the second team, got to play high school soccer, which was a really cool, fun experience. And then got brought back up to the top team my junior year. And junior year, balling out, and then COVID hit. And then we came back and senior year balling out. And I was just kind of like, I'm happy again. This is awesome. So I feel like that kind of span of a couple years, I really not only fell back in love with the sport, but fell back in love with like the grind of it all. And I feel like sometimes, especially with athletics, that gets lost a lot, and it ebbs and flows. Even now, I'm like, was kind of out of it when I wasn't with a team for a little bit. And I was just like, you get run down. Like things are hard to keep going when it's months and months on end. And now I've kind of fallen back in love with the grind of it, of doing the extra stuff, doing the extra running, doing the extra touches. Like nobody likes to run, but now I'm starting to fall back in love with the extra running and all that stuff. So I feel like it's kind of been an ebb and flow of like, you know, I love the sport, and then get a little rundown, a little tired, and then it comes back and I love it even more. So I'd say I don't know if I could put a direct answer on like when exactly I was like, I'm in love with this sport, but probably I'd say a little bit my like end of high school and then in college, just because I was like, I I'm not ready to be done. And I realized that, especially I was like, when I graduated, I was like, going pro is my only option. Like, I don't really have a plan B. If I need to, I'll figure one out. But I was like, but I'm going pro. I'm going to keep playing because I can't imagine not competing every day. So, yeah. And here we are.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Now we're here. Yeah.
Started from the bottom, now my whole team here.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I don't know if there's a specific. I was like, girl, go ahead. I was like, it is, the floor is yours.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I think you know what it is though. Like, it's, you know, I felt the answer where you're like, you know, that moment you're like, you almost quit because it's like you felt like, and correct me if I'm wrong, you felt like, you know, you're not getting what you was needed to get, like, you know, you had so much potential and everything, you felt like it was not getting utilized, so you're like, man, if, and then, but you know, when it's like, I used to hear this all the time, you know, sometimes there's always hidden blessings behind every situation.
Mm-hmm.
So
For
like,
sure. For sure.
so it's like when you got to that second team, you were able to get more playing time, able to, you know, get everything. And then it's like from there to now, like Charlotte to the pros, you're like, it ain't no plan B, plan C, nothing. I was like, you're going straight to pros. You're like, I
Yeah.
just,
And
so
it's hard, especially with soccer, because it's like you can be you can be at the very bottom, get to the top, and then you're right back at the bottom. Like, didn't play my U15 like freshman year, and U16, like U17, U19, I was starting almost every game, scoring so many goals. Like my senior year, I went crazy with club soccer, and then got to college and ended up becoming a starter. My freshman year was a starter all 4 years, and then get to pro, and I don't dress the first like 5 games. And it's one of those things like you're a rookie, you expect it, but it's also like, dang, I've never really experienced this before. Like, I want to be out there. So it was definitely an opportunity for growth for me. And I feel like overall I handled it relatively well. Um, but it's just like there's so many little moments for self reflection and personal growth that you don't even really think about until you're in them and you're like, damn, this is new to me. I've never really been here before. I don't really know how to handle this. But I had a good support system to lean on um, throughout all of it. So yeah.
I love your glasses. I was like, dang, she's killing
Thank you.
glasses. She's like,
Yeah.
just the sophisticated, the elegance, very
Sophisticated
cutesy,
girl.
like very cutesy, very demure. So it's like, yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now it's crazy. I've been doing this and this lately. It's like I should not, but it's
This is what I'm known for on my team. Like something happens and everyone's looking at me and I'm sitting there going, mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
like you know it. So,
Mm-hmm.
so my question for you is UNC Charlotte. You know, very. I've started to notice how very huge in their sports culture they are. Just been in Charlotte for like 3 or 4 years and just not like learn. It's like, oh, this is they don't play about their sports. But for you, during you know the 4 years during your years at there with soccer, what would you say is some of the misconceptions with UNC Charlotte as a mid major, and what are some of the misconceptions when it comes to mid major competition?
I would say still very competitive. My college experience, there was kind of a lot of jumping around in the sense that like the coach that recruited me was the assistant coach and he left the year before I got there. And then the head coach that recruited me, he left after my freshman year. And then after my sophomore year, so junior and senior year, we switched conferences. So there was a lot of bouncing around, but I'd say we had so many talented players. I think the most talented team I've ever been on was probably my junior year. We like our we had so many heavy hitters, just quality everywhere, and they came from really small places. And I think obviously we didn't go as far as we wanted to, and we definitely had some letdowns that season. But I can truthfully say I've never been on a team as talented as that one, where I look around the field and I'm like, we don't have a single weak link out here. Like, this is just a team full of ballers. So I think it's definitely important to recognize the competitive level of mid majors and what's considered mid major. I think, unfortunately, our record didn't really reflect that, and our lack of, championship rings doesn't really help us out with that. But I do think it's important to, if you're in that environment every day, realizing how competitive it is, and like, people are coming for your spot. Yes, there's for the most part the same starting 11, and that's out of your hands. But every day practice was competitive, and games were competitive, and games were hard. And I think I always knew that I was going to, go on to play pro. And so I was like, okay, this is hard. This is preparing me for what's about to be harder. Uh, but I made it pro, and I spent my whole 4 years at Charlotte. So I'm like, it prepared me well enough. I can say a lot of that I can put on me, and always doing extras and doing what I can. But at some point, you have to acknowledge the elephant in the room that I spent all my 4 years at a mid-major school, and now I'm a professional soccer player. So you can say what you want about it. Some people kind of use it as a stepping stone. They're like, oh, I'll go here. And truthfully, that was kind of when I committed my junior year of high school. Yeah, I committed really early, like September my junior year. And it was like, okay, I'll go here. This is a great school. I love it. And then if other opportunities come, like, so be it. But I was open to like potentially transferring after my sophomore year. And I loved everything about the school so much. And I felt like I really fit in a way with the team where I could help the team. And so I stayed all 4 years, and now we're here. So I think definitely acknowledging like mid-major schools. And also, some of these mid-major schools are in the top 10 regularly. Like Memphis from the American Conference, as much as I disliked playing them, like, shout out to them because they're always, in the top 25. My brother was at UNCG. I wouldn't really consider them like a big school, and they've been in the top 10 like the last, I don't know how long, but they've been in the top 10 at least once over like the last 3 years. So I think there's a lot to say. If I look at girls on my team, there's a lot of girls that like didn't come from big schools. And I think that's one of the things I love so much about this new league that we're in, is because we're recognizing talent, and we're recognizing good soccer players and competitors and winners, and not just people that are coming coming from really big schools and things like that. So I think, mid-major is a good way to go. If you can play in college, whether it's, D1, D2, D3, NAIA, whatever it is, like, if you're talented, people will find you. So that's kind of where I come into it at the end of the day. Because then you have people that are at big schools that go for just the name, and they don't enjoy their experience. And I can say that I truthfully have enjoyed my experience. So, yeah.
Period. The whole word right there, because like some people do go for the name, and it's like, are they going there because they truly love it, or are they going for the name because they don't want to like? Because I will say this, like, and like you said, like, and I think any coach, whether it's D1, D2, NAIA, D3, JUCO, if they going after you and they see a lot of potential in you, and like they consistent and like persistent in recruiting you and everything,
Yeah.
that should be your answer. Like, yes, I don't care what
Yeah.
level it is. Like, that coach is going to help me. And that is a stepping stone to where you need to, like, say, if you have a dream and you wanted to go pro or, do something, whether it's coaching or something, there's a stepping stone right there.
Because there's also so much that you could be like, oh, I think about it. I'm like, what if I transferred? I'm like, there's, you can't go back. So what's the point in thinking about it? Like, my dad played at NC State, and that was always my dream, was to follow in his footsteps, play at NC State. And part of it is like, you could grow into a better player in college. But if, like, say you go to that, high, highly like looked upon school, and you don't get like the minutes, or you don't really love your experience, you could stop right then and there. You couldn't grow in ways you could at other schools. Like, I wanted to go to NC State, and junior year, for reference, I was like 5'2", 100 pounds when I committed, probably. And then in college, I like hit a growth spurt right before college, and I was like 5'6", and I could hold my own a little bit more. And then I just continued to not only grow my game like in the physical aspects, but also mental aspects, because I'm still training in a competitive environment. I'm getting minutes, like everything's going well, and I feel like that helped a lot with my growth. But if I were to, say I was like, I really want to go to NC State, I'll do anything to go to NC State. Maybe I can go walk on at NC State. Like, who knows what my experience would have been like there, and if I would have progressed as I have. So I think it's really important to acknowledge, like, mid-major schools make professional athletes.
And that's on period for real. Cause you be seeing a lot of you be seeing a lot of
Absolutely.
like professional names now that came like from mid major, and you're like, oh, they came from like, yeah, like, some, I
Yeah.
mean, but some folks ain't ready for that conversation.
No. Mm-mm.
So, but my question for you is, for those that do not know,
Mm-hmm.
so we met at AthleteCon Queens Retreat.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, it was lit because the wine was whining. The wine was whining and everything. So, and also shout out to Sam Green for the event.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Shout
um,
out Sam.
shout out to Sam. So, oh, we definitely got to get a boomerang after this interview to like shout out her. So,
Perfect.
especially a boomerang because she's a UNC Charlotte alum. So,
Mm-hmm. Go Niners.
my question for you is, what was it like for you to be part of the AthleteCon Queens Retreat and to have Sam advocate for athletes like you in the NIL?
It was so much fun and just a great experience. And I feel like I did some like small NIL stuff on my own, but I was never really so into it, because I was like, I'm playing a sport full time. I'm trying to become a professional. I'm like, I don't really have time to do this. And to see how many girls were so committed to what they did and were also, badass athletes. Some of them graduated, some of them still in school, and like making time for this and making this such an integral like part of their life. And I was like, like, I have such a newfound respect for it, but also like, maybe I could do this. And granted, now I've just entered a new point in my life where it's kind of taken me a couple months to adjust. But I'm like, there's so much more I could be doing with this, and it really made me realize that if I want to go into that, I can, and I should. Um and just recognizing, like, there's so much out there and so many brands that want to work with you. There's so much you can do to grow your own personal brand. And I didn't really ever take that into consideration. I was like, oh, I'll reach out to these people, take some pictures, get some free stuff. Like, that's cool. I love free stuff. But now it's like, okay, what can I be doing that aligns with my personal brand? What can I be doing that, you know, encompasses how I feel as a person, things I like, hobbies, whatever. And some people are starting to like reach out to me now, and I feel like I haven't even still done my best to kind of put myself out there. So I feel like it was just really incredible to see everything that these girls are doing and be like, oh, that's actually a possibility for me. Because part of it was, yeah, as much as I was like, yeah, mid majors are competitive and I'm enjoying stuff, I was like, do people really want, I'm seeing girls of like Yeti, like sending stuff to big time schools and whole teams. And I'm just like, no one really, we're not that, we didn't win a championship, and we're mid-major school. I'm like, people aren't really that excited to work with us. So I didn't really consider it a possibility. And now thinking about it, I'm like, these girls they're doing the damn thing. And I'm like, oh, that could be something that I'm interested in later. And that could be something that I want to fulfill. And then aside from that, it was just such a fun experience in general. I made so many friends. You know, we were lit a little bit. We had some fun though. Like, fashion's such a big thing for me. So seeing everyone's like style when we had those days that we were dressing up, that was fun. And like Sam did a really good job hosting the event with all of the different things and combination of like fun and work and like, so I really enjoyed it. Trying to figure out what my summer is like this coming years to see if maybe I can make an athlete con appearance, but we'll see. But I enjoyed it so much. I'm like, I want to come back. That was so much fun and really eye opening. So I really enjoyed it.
Girl, the food was
Was it
like,
Chef Gunny? Shout
yes.
out Chef Gunny.
Shout out to Chef Gunny and the
Mm.
spices. Like the
Mm-hmm.
spices we made. Oh, yeah, that's them spices is gone. Like my
Yep.
family used my, so I brought the spice home and I put
Mm-hmm.
it on some of my wings and like yeah, and then my family ended up using the whole thing for all the
Yep.
rest of the wings, and I'm like,
I had
oh.
to hide mine. I hid it. I said, "This is not for y'all. This is for me." The candle's sitting right there.
I still have the candle and I have not lit it up. I don't know. I was like, for some reason, I love candles and I would like to light it up, but that one is like,
It's like a special one. I lit it, and it's like about halfway, so I've stopped lighting it. I'm like, I'll just get some more. They can be for decoration.
cause girl, I forgot which. Oh, the one I had was Southern Charm. I was like, this smells so good.
I think that's the one I have, and I was like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like, we'll just do that. And like, and then the oh Dove, when Dove had that whole set,
Oh,
like,
I still use them. The glide stick. Yeah, I I be using that one every day for practice.
girl, I didn't realize that one stick. I think it could have been the glide stick. I was like, this does multiple positions. Ooh, you can put it over here. That's like, okay, I am here for it. Because I used to hear people put like under on deodorant on the thighs or what. I was like, how does
That's what
it
I do
people
for practice. So I like as an anti-chafing stick. I need to order more. I grabbed two. I was like, I'm getting to the end. I need to order more.
Now the real kicker for me was see I haven't put it on yet was the chip nails. I want to try. I don't know how to put them on though. I don't know how to put them on. Like I would love to put them on and I was like I realized I train so much in practice. Say if I were to shoot and then and it
Yeah,
I don't want to mess these little babies up.
I
But
used them for my birthday this year.
ooh,
Yeah, they were awesome.
which ones
I
were
still
they?
want to be. I think that they were like the really long, like black and silver chrome ones with the gems. I know. I want to wear them to like an event, so people be like, "Oh, like, can I get your business info?" Or like, say I'm out and I'd be like, "Can I get your number?" I can be like, "Oh, here, there, there's my Instagram. There's my portfolio." Like, I just feel like it would be so cool. But I have them. They're somewhere here.
I was like, I know Macy has to had a video,
Hmm.
create a video with those because she was like,
Oh yeah, it's up on my Instagram. I was
I
like,
just
mm-hmm.
I saw, I was like, she did not play, but she's like, whenever I go to the games, I gotta have the nails, and then she like these up. I was like, yep, absolutely,
Mm-hmm. Brought
like
the receipts.
everything. Cause girl, I saw your media day pictures for soccer. I was like, this girl slay, eat, period. Pause for
Thank
slay
you.
all
Thank
day.
you.
She did not play around with the crown and everything.
No.
She was like, I'm a
Senior
sister.
year, I had to go all out. Had to go all out.
And then for the pro, I was like, yes, let them know. Just
Mm-hmm.
slay all. She's like, oh, y'all thought senior year was there? I'm bring out the pop. Just it's like I'm show up, show out on my pro year today.
Mhm. You only get a rookie year once. That was my mantra. I was like, rookie year only happens one time, so might as well step a little bit.
And that's on period. So
Mm-hmm.
my question for you is, and leads to my question, when it comes to representation, especially like for women's sports, having people look up to you or you looking up to someone, how important is representation when it comes to women's sports?
I never really like thought about myself being someone that like kids look up to, and it's a bit of a weird feeling because I'm like that was always me, like looking up to pro players. Like my dad was a professional coach when we were younger, so we would always, we knew all the players, we go to the games, and it's like, we all got social media and we followed all of them, and now all of them are like commenting and texting me about, I can't believe you're a pro, and like you were growing up watching us playing pro. So I never really thought about like me making it had so many other things kind of wrapped into it, that now I was becoming like a role model, and now I was becoming someone that people look up to. And you know, we've done some events where we've gone to schools or gone to talk to kids, and it's like kind of, it's a very full circle moment, and you're like, that used to be me. And now it's like you really do have, I don't want to call it a responsibility because that kind of has like a negative connotation, but you get this blessing of being a role model and someone that kids look up to. And it's so like humbling and fulfilling to be like, dang, they really, I have a little bit of influence in what goes on in their life, and I can be a positive influence in the way that I carry myself, in the way that I interact with them. And I honestly just try to make it seem, I guess whenever I talk to kids, like, I want to be your best friend. I may not remember your name tomorrow, but right here, right now, when we're talking, we're hanging out, I want to be your best friend, because I want to be someone that like kids are comfortable with. Because as much as we're role models, like we can be very intimidating. You know, the label, the tag of professional athlete can be very intimidating. And so I feel like making it seem how like we're still kind of, we're part of that normal people group. Like, yeah, I'm just a normal person. People aren't recognizing me as I'm walking around Charlotte, but also be like, you, someone that believes in them. Like, we went to some rec games the other day, and it was, you know, high fives and good job and all this. And it's like that little comment could change everything for them. You don't know what other people are going through. You don't know what little kids are going through. So I just, it's something that I don't take on lightly. And I really love that I can help with any little comment, just no matter what they're going through. Just a little like, yeah, you're doing great. And it could change everything for them. And I don't take that lightly, and I really love it.
Girl, woo, you better let them know about that. Cause I feel you on that part about like it's like you always look up to the ones that you grew up watching or you seen, right? But then
Mm-hmm.
it's like that full circle moment where like now they're like on your page or like now they're hitting you up and it's like, like I definitely appreciate it. It's like how do I it's like you're not it's like so now I'm like you said, it's like not the responsibility, but now it's a blessing that someone sees me as something like this and
Yeah.
it's like now it's like amazing and it's like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? It's like so
Yeah.
but I think that's the same way from I'm with you on that because I would tell people that like I always love first of all any person that's in the women's sports if I see that post or whatever like yes slave all that and I be like I'm always cheering for the girls and just like hey I know you don't know me or we spoken before but I just want to let you know how proud I am of you just because like I love seeing people win I want to see people do good.
Love seeing
So
people win.
exactly. So when somebody is like, when I receive that, it's like yes, thank you, I appreciate it, but it's like, man, don't make me cry. I don't want to cry. Like this is like it's like I don't want to say sentimental, but it's like it means something a lot. But it's like I'm not used to
Mm-hmm.
it. It's like what is
Yeah.
so so it's like
I feel like
what's
a lot of it is also like the gratitude you have for it, I feel like is what makes it so emotional, because it's like, okay, this used to be me, and now I'm this for another person. And it's not just like, okay, I'm kind of responsible for how they perceive me, how they perceive other female athletes, how they perceive other athletes. And it's like the gratitude of knowing that I'm being trusted that much, or have that such influence, is like such an emotional thing. And I feel, because, you know, I don't like to use the word like responsible to describe it, but knowing that you are kind of responsible for their perception of whatever, it's like, it's heavy. It's a heavy feeling knowing that you kind of have that sway and that control. And so it's like, so something that fills you with so much gratitude that you I guess have that ability. And I think that's what makes it so emotional. It's like, oh my gosh, this is some heavy stuff, and it doesn't feel like it, but it is.
Girl, T with it. T. Clock it. So, but you do it better. I just, yeah. Clock it. So, but I always say that athletes are humans first. And at least
Heavy on that.
period. Because I
Period.
have a whole broadcast channel on my Instagram and I share that thing almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
But which is people can all the athletes can join, former or current. It's free. I'm providing a safe space for y'all. That's my one of my main things.
Right.
Um so my question, at least to my question is, as an athlete and a female, how important is mental health to you?
I am such a huge mental health advocate. I kind of always have been, especially since that freshman year, like going to see a sports psych. I am very open about that. Um, it's not something that I'm like, I don't really want people to know. I'm like, no, no, I will tell you. It was amazing. I loved her. Dr. Vici, shout out. I don't know where she is now, but she basically started me off on the train that getting help for mental health is a good thing. Um, I've always been such a huge advocate, especially with, you know, personal experiences, whether it be family, friends, myself. And I know it's become a lot more talked about lately, which is fantastic. I think changing the stigma around it, like our jobs are hard. And if you're in college, it's not technically a job, but it is. Like you're you're basically a pro athlete plus school in college. And I think that it's mental health is something that can change so quickly and depending on like your situation, and it's very fragile. And I think the more tools and resources you have to not only like help care for it or bring you back, but to help strengthen it is so important. So like in college, I was one of our like biggest mental health advocates. And that was like the reason I joined SAC. Like, yeah, I loved everyone, but I was like, I want to see what I can do. So junior year, I was a director of wellness for SAC with when Deja and Leah were there. And so it was very much like, I want to see what we can do to make other people feel known. And I feel like that's how you start that conversation because it's easy to just be like, oh, you should go talk to this person or you should go talk to this person. And people have been doing that for years and haven't really gotten anywhere. People don't want to feel like you're telling them, oh, you need to go get help. It's a very much like if you can identify, I feel like it's so important. Like freshman year, freshman sophomore year, I was talking to our school sports psych like once or twice a week about various things. Like my mental health wasn't great, my soccer performance wasn't great. Like, I was still performing well, but it wasn't my best. I was feeling putting a lot of extra pressure on myself. Like there were some other things going on. And it helped a lot knowing that I had those resources and good quality resources, like people that were really helping, and then being able to provide that space for other athletes. And it doesn't have to be like a space where it's like you go and, we talk about things. Like, yes, that's helpful and it's helpful to know like some tips, whatever. But just a space where you can feel comfortable and be around people that identify with you. And taking care of your mental health doesn't have to be something you do once you're already struggling. I feel like that's the biggest misconception is, sometimes you need a self-care day. Things can be going well and sometimes, you're just stressed and you need a self-care day. And I feel like that is one of my favorite things about like my experience at Charlotte was how much of that I kind of took on. Like it was really big for us for women's soccer. We had like our mental health chalk out game, and so we would go and we would like the whole entryway to the stadium, we would chalk out with like certain messages and like little pictures and whatever. Some people would put scripture verses, some people would do like little Disney movie quotes, like even regular stuff like you matter, like we see your struggle, you're not alone, Dory just keeps swimming, like Bible verses. And then the entire stadium. It was so amazing. And we did that for like the last, I think I ran it my junior and senior year. And I think we might have done it my sophomore year also. But like that was kind of my thing, and that was a really big deal for me. So I'd say the more we can talk about it and get it out there is just like the most important thing, so people don't feel alone. Because I feel like once they can identify with someone, then it's okay, let's see how, why don't you come in a little bit more, let's see how we can figure it out. um but no, I think especially with, I think all athletes, female athletes, everyone goes through a lot of different stuff, so you can't really say that one's more important than the other. But I think it's just so important that it's recognized, and that people are able to see that like it doesn't hinder you. If anything, like it makes you stronger, helps you get through adversity better. Like I became much stronger mentally from all of the work I had done, freshman year of high school, freshman sophomore year of college. So one thing that sticks out to me is like my grandma passed away in the middle of my senior season last year, and she was someone like, she's my number one supporter, my biggest fan. Like I'd get pictures every game day of her set up by the TV in like her UNC Charlotte gear.
Oh,
And she was the GOAT. And she had folders in her office of every single press release from my first game freshman year until the end. And so like press releases, I wasn't even in like the first like freshman year, sophomore year, I wasn't really in them. But she had every single press release. She was like my biggest fan. And I think obviously like that was a very difficult time for me. But I think acknowledging the fact that like I wasn't really okay made it easier for me to handle things. And I had such a great like support system, resource system around me that I could talk to people, and it helped me handle the grieving process better, which isn't the case for all people. I'm not saying like if you go and train your mental health that a traumatic incident isn't gonna like hit you as hard. But I think with all of the things that I was juggling, being in season, not really having time to process it, being stressed with graduating in like 2 months, there was a lot of other stuff on my plate. And I think strengthening my mental health and also acknowledging it and having people there with me made it a little bit easier for me to process what had happened, rather than just everything coming crashing down. Because also, like, there was a lot I had looking forward. I was like, she was going to try and come to my senior game. She was going to try and come to my graduation. And, like, I think having all of that happen and still acknowledging, like, I'm a human. I can be sad. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be grieving while all of this is going on, just made it feel like there was a little bit less on my plate. Or like it was all on my plate, but I could kind of section this off over here, and I could section this off over here, and it wasn't just like everything blew up. So yeah, I think I will never stop talking about mental health. And even here, I'm trying to, now that I'm new and kind of getting my footing, find a way to um, figure out how I can be an advocate for that, because that's honestly one of my favorite things, is being an advocate for things that I'm passionate about.
girl, I was about to say, for some reason, I was gonna say because I lost my grandmother last year. Yeah. So, but for some reason, those prayers that grandmothers be praying hit a little different. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
there is some. I always thought there was some magical powers in those prayers that the grandmothers be having. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what are you telling them? What are
Mm-hmm.
you saying? But for real, like, she had every press release from freshman to senior.
Mm-hmm. And she started folders for my brother and sister too. But we were like cleaning out the house, and I was going through the office, and I found like a folder, and it had a picture of me my my freshman year. And I went, and it was every single like post game press release. And I was like looking at them, I was like, I'm not even in half of these. And then there was a second folder. And I'm talking about like, those filing folders?
Yes.
My freshman and sophomore year, were in like the first one. And then the second one was like double the size because I was in more of them my junior and senior year. She had every single one. And I was like, look, I was like, she literally put my entire career on paper and has all of them just there.
Oh, she didn't play around then. She did
She
not play.
did not play. I know. I'm like, if she, I don't know what she would have done when she saw me become a pro because she be doing the most and she loves it. That's where I get my extraness from, is because she be doing the most and I be doing the most.
Because it's my thing is, I always want to bring the importance of athletes' mental health because a lot of people don't understand. Like you said, it is what they're doing. They're a pro plus the school aspect because
Yeah.
really they're. And then with the recent passing, unfortunate passing of Kyron Lacey, and then the couple of years before that was, oh gosh, I forgot she was a goalie for Stanford, but
Um, her name's Katie.
yeah, Katie. Uh, oh
I should
Lord,
I should know this.
it's gonna come to us by the time we get done. And
Let's
I
see.
think my thing, with those, with all those, with those specific two athletes of their,
Katie Meyer.
yes,
Katie Meyer. Apologies, Katie Meyer.
with
Yeah.
those, do you feel like with those recent two passing, and all the athletes passed, all the athletes' mental health that passed, but those two ones that were like the most recent one, do you feel like it really kind of opened a lot of like doors of the conversation of how crucial athletes' mental health is?
Oh, 100%. Um, I hate that it takes something as unfortunate as that to open the door for the conversation because it shouldn't ever come to that. Um, but I think people have started recognizing it as like, oh shoot, this this isn't just some fluff that people made up. Like, because a lot of the time it's like, oh, like no, this is what you signed up for. Like you're an athlete. This you signed up for this. It's like no, no, like we're still people, and I think it took it's so unfortunate that it took that to make the conversation happen because it should have never gotten to that point. Um, but I do think it is a positive impact of their legacy that they're making change. And I hate that they're not here to see it, but they're making change. And I hope that like up above or where at whatever you believe in, I hope that wherever they are, they know that they are making change because like they are us. They are every single athlete. Every single athlete is them. And it's like no one ever thinks that oh it could be me, it could be my best friend on the team, it could be someone I know. No one ever thinks that until it happens. And so I think it's important that like these conversations have started becoming regular. And I just like I wish that there was more we could do um to keep those things from happening, but I think the more and more it's recognized, hopefully the less and less it happens.
For sure, because yeah, those two, especially Lacey's one, just kind of just hits. They just hit just harder for some reason. It's just like dang, like you can. It's like you never. And I learned that you gotta check on your happy, strong people in your life because you
Mm-hmm.
never know what someone is going through. They could be fighting the silent battles, and they still put a smile on their face and have to be the strong friend. But it's like, when's the last time somebody ever asked them, "Hey, are you okay?" Oh, I just want to check on you, make sure you good. Like, when's the last time somebody ever done that for them? So it's like
Yeah.
you never know what type of silent battle somebody is going through. So,
For
but
sure.
I'm telling. Could we get the nail cam, please, again? Cause the glasses, the nails cam. Yes, slay on like y'all see this the nails for breast cancer awareness month.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all see it? Y'all. I just have a feeling you'll probably have the nails for Christmas too. You'll probably have the
We'll
nails.
see. I gotta feel it. I gotta feel out what my next move is because I've been taking some breaks. But Grams was a breast cancer survivor, so I was like, okay, October is very important to me.
Ah,
So I was like, I gotta come out of retirement and get my nails done.
Hey, it's like, you know what? I'm gonna get the nails done. She don't play about the nails though, y'all. She does not. She got receipts for it. You can look
Mm-hmm.
at you gonna see it on her Instagram. She don't play about her nails. So, but my question for you is, if there was a phrase or a word to describe your journey so far, what would it be?
Mm. Mm. Oh goodness, because there's so many. I feel like there's so many different aspects to the journey I took to keep being here.
Girl, go for it.
I'm gonna say winner. I feel like not as much as I wanted it to be like winning in a championship like sense. That didn't happen. But I feel like winner in the sense that every day, like I'm trying to win everything I do every single day. And that is even the small, like silly fun games at practice. I want to win every time. Like, and I feel like that's easy for a lot of people to say, but I feel like that like competitive mentality is what's gotten me here. Because there have been so many times, like even when we go back to like me going to a mid-major school, there were a lot of people that doubted that I was gonna make it pro because I played at UNC Charlotte, and it's like I like there was no chance that I wasn't going to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. Like I was going to win at whatever I wanted to do, and I feel like I am a competitor in every aspect of my life. Like you can ask my family when we're playing board games. You can ask my college friends when we're having card night. Like I'm trying to win every single game we play. And I feel like that's me in practice. I'm trying to win every single thing. And I feel like um, there are just some people that are like built to be winners and to fight tooth and nail to get what they want, to do everything they can to, accomplish whatever they're trying to do. And so I think regardless of all of the ups and downs I had, like there have been many different aspects to my journey, but the one thing that stayed the same is like inside I am a winner and I'm going to do whatever I can. I'm going to claw, like do whatever has to be done to try and get to that point. And no, it doesn't always happen, but that never changes the mentality of like, I'm going to win this. I'm going to accomplish what I want to accomplish. Like, I'm going to be a competitor and try and win every single day, regardless of what I'm doing.
Ooh, yes. Let me get my little fan real. Yep. Because it's like I'm gonna let Macy do the clock it thing. I can't do it. So yeah, that. It's like she saw you heard something good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like you heard something real
Mm-hmm.
that was true. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I always ask my guests this question because Bonafide means authentic and unique. So, what makes Miss Macy Bader Bonafide, and what makes your story stands out?
I feel like it's actually kind of funny. When I self love is such an important thing to me. And when I think about myself, there's so many different aspects of myself that I love. And I feel like that is also a thing that's not talked about a lot is like you can be openly like open about how much you love yourself, and that sounds kind of people are like really quick to shoot that down and be like, oh, that's arrogance, oh, like you're not humble. And I feel like I'm a competitor, I'm an elite athlete. Like that's something that a lot of people like use as their whole identity, but like I also like fashion, I also ride horses, I love reading, I'm trying to learn the guitar. Like I feel like one of the things that makes me so unique is how many different like things make me up, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like like encompass a lot of things, and if I were to break down my identity, there I wouldn't just have like one or two things as my identity. And that's something that I feel like I've always been like, I'm starting my walk in my faith. Like that's another aspect. Like there's so many, I like building things. I like, there's just so many different things about myself that I feel like all of those little things add up to make me who I am. And I really just like how like broad my identity goes, I guess is the way I would describe it.
Girl. Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes. Because here's the thing. Athletes can have hobbies too, everybody. They are more than their sport. So if they have passion, for real. Like I've seen, and I remember seeing this on your story. I was like, yes, Macey, yes. I have seen athletes utilize their voice, whether it is protesting, whether it is something that's very bigger than they utilize their platform, which I was like, Macey using, okay. I was like, Macey, don't she protesting? I was like, okay. I was like, I'm here for it. I was like sipping my tea. I was like, well, like, go
Mm-hmm.
girl. And I was loving it too. I was like, hmm. I was loving it. I was like, yes,
Yeah, I was like, this, I got to do something.
girl, with how this world is going.
Got to do something.
Another topic for another day. Cause
Mm-hmm.
I always say I feel like there's times where I don't mind having time. I got the time, but
Mm-hmm.
it's do folks got some time?
Mm-hmm.
Cause it's like I don't know if folks ain't ready for that conversation, but but
They're not.
no, absolutely not. So, but Miss Macy, can you let the viewers and folks know how and where they can find you if you have any upcoming games coming up for you, ma'am?
Yeah, you can find me on IG at Macey Vader. I think my Twitter is also Macey Vader. And I think my TikTok is just Mace Vader without the Y. And yeah, we have an upcoming game in Brooklyn, and I think our next home game is November 8th. So if you're in the Charlotte area, pop out to American Legion Memorial Stadium.
Y'all heard it from the queen here first. Y'all heard it here first. Yes. And if y'all missed her nails, she sees them. She shows it to you 3 times. 3 times the charm. Pow. So y'all be sure to follow the queen herself, Macy Bader at Macy Bader on Instagram. And if y'all in Charlotte around November, go check out some soccer games for the women. Because when you invest in women's sports, amazing things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Support a real one right here. Hello. So y'all be sure to check out the live replay of Bonafide podcast episode 174 featuring Macey Bader. Big shout out to Macey for coming on the podcast to share your story. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace.